Alright, this is my watercolor tray, and you can get these on Amazon for, it's pretty inexpensive, like $10–15. They're travel size, so you can fold them up pretty easy. They come with the empty trays, they don't come with paint, or at least mine did not. And the watercolors that I am using are from the Winsor & Newton. It's the Coltman watercolors. These are a little bit cheaper to get into if you're just starting out, and I have purchased a few of the Watercolor Professional series of the same Winsor & Newton, just because I really like the colors and I'm trying to see what the difference is between them, and so far I really like the consistency on the Professional. So as I go on, I'll probably start replacing out the Coltman with the Professional. Alright, so let's go ahead and put our brush in the water and scrape off any excess water and go for our first one. I'm just gonna lay it out like this on my card. I just took a watercolor paper and made a grid of how many colors I have here in the palette. And then what we're going to do is do a color gradient, starting with the dark color up at top and then slowly bringing it down to the lightest color. And this is a great reference for any artist because you want to be able to see the value that you're going to get from each one of your colors. That way, when you're painting, you can pick from that value in there. All right, so let's go ahead and lay that in there. And I've left this one blank. I'm gonna put a different color in there, so I'm just gonna skip this first box. This one is called titanium. Or no, this is gonna be titanium. This one is Chinese white. So you're not gonna really be able to tell what this looks like. My light just shut off. I just touched it accidentally. All right, so we're gonna just put the darkest color up at the top, nice and heavy there, and get the color off. Brush it around a little bit. And then make sure there's not too much water on there, and then just grab it and pull it down. So with the white, it's not gonna be, you're not gonna be able to see much. So let's get going with the yellow. Now this one, I believe, is the Cadmium Yellow Pale Hue. So we're gonna get a nice amount on there. Okay, start at the top and just use a sweeping motion back and forth, trying to stay within that box area. You want the darkest at the top. Swish around the brush, clean it off, take off the excess water, and just keep kind of repeating that motion. And I dab a little bit to make sure that there's not too much water on there, and start pulling that color down, because you want to be able to get that full range. Okay, so that looks good. We're gonna wipe off our brush. Now, paper is very important. Right now, just for my reference chart, I'm just doing something low grade, student grade, but a lot of people, when they do their paintings, they're gonna want to use like a cotton, 100% cotton. But for a chart like this, I don't really care to use the more expensive one. Maybe later on I will, but I just use my student grade watercolor paper. Alright, so we are going to grab the next color. This one is a lemon yellow hue. And make sure I don't have too much water And start at the top, it should be nice and dark. Sweeping motion, take it off, take off the excess water, and pull it back and forth till you get to the end. Alright, so that one's a nice gradient as well. And we'll be able to really tell whether or not our gradient is successful when it's dry. So, and don't worry about it if it, say you got too much water on it and it's not showing a nice gradient from dark to light, you can always go back in when it's dried and start over and do it over again, and it pretty much fixes it. So no stressing out here. So let's do the same, cleaning off of the brush, wiping off the excess water, go in with your next color. Kind of swirl it around a little bit. I want to make sure I have enough color on it before I start. Sometimes I have to get a little more water to wet the paint if it's really dry. So we go at the top, sweeping motion back and forth. I go, you know, like a third down, and then I start pulling it. There we go. That seems like that works. Clean off the brush. And going with the next one. This is the cadmium orange hue. Looks like that's enough here. Start at the top. Sweeping motion back and forth, about a third of the way down. Take all the color out and leave most of the water. There we go, grab it and pull it. And then you know that you're doing it right when the color is not retreating. So if the color is retreating and going back in to the color and up, that means you've got too much water on it. So at that point, I would probably just try to take the excess water off, dab it on your paper towel, and then get some color, start from the top and go down again. That's what I do. So let's do that again. Clean off. And then come in to, this one is ochre, I believe, yellow ochre. Again, all from the Winsor Newton collection. And I've used other colors from different palettes, different companies, but it seems like I really enjoy this one so far, Winsor Newton. So, and it seems like most artists do. That one might have too much water on that one, so we'll do that. And then take off the color and start dragging it. I might have too much water there. Let's see. Yeah. So, see, there's too much water, I can tell. So I can just sop up that, come in, take some color, and then grab it and pull it down, because obviously I have too much water. We're just gonna go like that. And then now it's starting to pull down. So you can see it's not pulling up, it's coming down. So that's what you want. So like I said, you can fix it. You want to see the full capability, the full range of that color, so that when you're painting, you'll know which color to pick. All right, my water is getting really quite full, so I'm going to switch out my water. All right, sorry guys, I'm back. Water was just a little too crazy. Okay, so let's go back in. Now we're on to the burnt sienna right here. Kind of a red-brown. And honestly, I really enjoy making my color reference chart when I get a new palette and I choose the colors that I want and I make my gradient chart. It's just really calming. It's very relaxing, and that's why I got into watercolor in the first place. It's just really relaxing. I have two children. One is 7, one is 2, and I need some time that's my own, and I think watercolor really fills that for me. And they really enjoy it too when they watch me do my watercolor, so they get something out of it too. But I think I need more color on this one. For some reason this burnt sienna, I just can't get it very dark at the top. Let's try that again. Okay. So yeah, I was working full-time, and then when I had my kids, we decided to do stay at home. So it's just having a problem here. Here we go. Now it's starting to come down. And becoming a mom is definitely totally different than expected. It's all-consuming and very rewarding, but exhausting. And so I think watercolor, I was watching another channel and she was describing the reason why she got into watercolors for relaxing and a kind of a time away. And that's why I got into it. It's something that is very soothing and beneficial. I mean, it feels like you get something afterwards. You've made something. So it's rewarding. And I've always been very creative, so anything tapping into that creativity is something I always crave. But just the way watercolor moves, it's soothing to see water flow the way it does. So you grab it and then seeing it kind of flow throughout the water, it's really quite beautiful. And it's a skill that takes a lot of practice. So I'm still working on it, that's for sure. But I enjoy working on it, so there we go. It's a little harder. And I've been doing it since, let's see, 2008. 2008 is when I did my first watercolor painting, and I did it for my father. It was a birthday present, and he really loves his dog, so I made a painting of, they had 3 dogs. I had one, they're these corgis, and I made a painting of a picture of that he had taken of all 4 of them, his 3 dogs and my dog. And he still to this day absolutely loves it. It did actually capture the personality of each dog. So, but I didn't realize I had never done watercolor before. I was doing, with his painting, I didn't use these paints. I got into watercolor pencils. And it kind of just took away that scary feeling. It's like watercolor has a bad rap. Like, everybody thinks, oh, that's watercolor is so difficult, and it is, but really isn't. So yes, I was scared of watercolors, and so I was more into just drawing. So I would draw and do ink, things that are a little bit more controlling. And then my mom talked to me about the watercolor pencils, and I thought, oh, that's more controlling. I can draw. I know how to draw. I'm good at drawing, because I can control it more, where everything's gonna go. And so I decided to do that painting for his birthday in, oops, wrong one. I did it in watercolor pencil, and it turned out really good. I was quite surprised for being my first time, and he absolutely loved it. So then the second painting was for my mother, and I think it was for her, either for her birthday or for Mother's Day. And I did a hummingbird, and that hummingbird painting that I did in 2008 is still one of my really favorites. And I had done it such a long time ago, and people that I show, I have prints made of the watercolor that I made for my mom. She has the original, and people still love it. They still want to buy prints of it. So yeah, it's just kind of crazy. Even one of my first paintings, with hardly any skill and knowledge of the medium, it turned out pretty good. It's kind of like a beginner's luck type of thing. So, and then after I didn't do a whole lot of paintings at that time, it was really just for people's birthdays and just one-offs, probably one or two a year. And it was just a hobby, and I was working for a large corporation, and I had been working with them for full-time for 11 years. And then when I had my daughter, my husband now, we were not husband at that time, we weren't married at that time, but we had decided that we were not going to, I was going to stay home if I could. So he was going to try to make it happen, make it financially, we were going to see if it would work, is what I'm trying to say. And it did. He owns his own business, and he does a great job, and it makes it to where I can stay home with our girls, just one girl at that time, and now we have two. And it made it to where I could paint more and draw more. And then I just didn't realize that I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed it when I did the paintings for my mom and my dad and, for people. But I started doing it more and more, and I realized that it was something that was very much a part of me. I learned more about myself. The more paintings I did, the greater, it's like the better I felt, and the more confident I felt about many things, and I just had that creative, I was able to tap into that creativity that I really wasn't able to do a whole lot when I was working for that company, the corporation, because I was so tired. I didn't feel like I had any time or energy for anything else but to essentially 9 to 5, get up, do it, come home, eat, and repeat, essentially. So now that I have, being a stay-at-home mom, it's always on. But you do have times here and there, it's a 24-hour job, but you do have downtime. So I have been able to produce quite a bit of paintings just off of kids are outside playing, Olivia's down for a nap, or my first daughter, Kaylin, was down for a nap, and I'd have like an hour or 2 hours, you know, of time. Not too much water. And so, yeah, I've been able to do more and more, and I'm hoping to get into really promoting, so I just started my business this year, just getting the name, and I had enough product to sell prints, and I had some original paintings. So I did a craft fair, and I decided to do it during the holiday because everybody's looking to buy anything anyways, or they're looking to buy something. So it'd be a good time to start a business. So I went to that, and it was actually a lot of fun. I don't know how successful it was, but it was nice talking to the people. It was nice hearing the feedback from them, if they liked it, what they liked about it, what kind of paintings they were interested in. And so, you know, future paintings, thinking about, you know, what I'm going to do in the future. It was just really nice to talk with them. And so that was a lot of fun, but it was during the holiday, so it was kind of stressful. And then of course afterwards I got sick because Kaylin's 7 now, so seems like she's always bringing something home from school. So yeah, and so now I'm here, but I launched my first book. Well, it's not gone. It hasn't gone anywhere. I've just built it. I made a watercolor coloring book for artists that want to work on their technique of watercolor. They don't want to sit there and draw it. They don't want to draw whatever they're doing, whatever they're going to paint. They just want it already drawn, and they want to work on the skill of applying watercolor. And so I created that from my love of orchids. So the whole book is off of orchids. It's all about orchids. So on my honeymoon, we went to a orchid farm, and I took pictures from all kinds of different orchids that I have ever seen. And so with all those pictures that I took from the orchid farm, I made a 24-page watercolor coloring book. And okay, my girls came in from being out in the cold, running around, and hopefully they'll stay outside for a little bit longer. So let's try finishing it. Hopefully I was right in the middle of doing this color, and see if I can salvage it. Watercolor, you want to kind of work fast. Let's go at the top, get it nice and dark up here, and then bring that color down. Definitely kind of funky right there. Let's see if I can salvage this. I think that one's all right. Okay. So I'm not even sure where I was, but essentially, yes, the watercolor coloring book that I did, the first book that I made, what did I make? I think I made 14 of these watercolor coloring pads, and they, what is this color? Let's see. Now I'm on Indigo. Here's Indigo. I'll put the colors in the description below. I forgot to tell you about all my colors here. I did it at the beginning, and then I forgot to mention each one. So I'll put them down in the description area at the end of the video. So yeah, I was able to launch that watercolor coloring pad at that craft fair. So that was really cool. I was very excited about it. And sold my first watercolor coloring pad, and then after that I registered for my business name, I think the day after or very shortly afterwards, and made sure that my Facebook page and everything was set up right, and yeah, everything kind of started happening after that. I had things set up, but the business was not, it hadn't launched at all, but I had done all these drawings and created that book, so I was ready to launch this last Christmas. So, and then now I'm just trying to get out of being sick. I just got over being sick, and so now I'm getting back into this. I haven't done a YouTube video before. I was watching some tutorials, and I was like, you know what, I think this might be good for my business to have some tutorials or some kind of paint with me's. I watched so many on YouTube that I thought, you know, if I'm going to have this business, it would be nice to have that for people that want to know more about my paintings, how they come about. So, oh, I think I got too much water. Let me take the water off there. I love this color. This is what is it? Let's see here. Prussian blue. I think I'm saying that right. Definitely put a comment in there if I'm saying it wrong, but it is beautiful. I love this color. That's probably one of my favorites. And I love red. Like, I'm a red, purple, teal girl, but man, that Prussian blue is beautiful. And it makes for a beautiful starry night sky. So that's one of the paintings that I'm making for my mother-in-law, is a starry night sky. And so I gotta do a little bit darker up here. It's so pretty. Ooh, I just love it. Look at that color. So yeah, I'm hoping to do more of these videos and just do some, like, just classes maybe. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I know I want to do some classes locally. My husband has a business location, and on the weekends he's not using that business location, so I'm like, maybe I can just hold some classes at that same business location on the weekends, and then somebody can watch the girls, him or grandma and grandpa or something like that. So we'll see if I can get that started after Olivia starts going to school. Kaylin's going to school, of course, she's 7. But after Olivia goes to school, then I think I'll be able to do a whole lot more. That one's really pretty too. This is Turquoise. Another one of my favorites. So we'll see. I'm very excited about it. I know that as time goes on, I'll have more and more and more time because Olivia's getting older and potty training is essentially very close to being done. I'm really excited about it. She's doing really well. So both my girls are amazing, and I love being a mom. It's just, you have to have something as being a mom. You kind of get lost in being a mom and all the needs of them and checking all the boxes, that you have to make sure that you're still you're still taking care of yourself, and you feel like you still have you without the kids type of idea, as far as what do you like to do. And I love to paint and I love to create, so and it just relaxes me, but also it's that creative outlet. I think I need it. And some people don't. They're not super creative. They get their relaxing feel from somewhere else, their relief from something else. But pretty much, my mom's like that too. She makes cards. So she makes cards for people, and they're beautiful. And then her mother before that created cards too. And so I was telling my mom, I was like, I can make cards too. It'll just be watercolor cards. And so I'm doing paintings, but also I can do watercolor cards for thank you cards, just like my mom, keeping it in the family where it just kind of, and hopefully my girl, Kaylin, loves painting and drawing and everything, and she loves card making, and so I have a feeling that it'll just keep on going. So, and then Olivia, I don't know what she's gonna want or get into, or we'll see. But they're both so different. So yeah. Definitely comment below about any of your experiences with your kids and what they like, if they're into painting like you are. I love hearing about that. And I would love to also maybe do like a class for my daughter's class. That would be kind of cool. So I'll have to reach out to her teachers and see if that would be something they're interested in. It's beautiful green too. Let's see if I can get a darker color right here at the top. There, that's a little bit better. I want to get that dark green at the top. Sweeping motion. There we go. I think that will look. That gives me it. So yeah, give me comments down below. Tell me about your experience. Is this just a hobby? Is this a business potentially a business that you're thinking about getting into? Yeah, any of that. I love hearing. It'd be really cool to hear from a community. And as a stay-at-home mom, I don't get out a whole lot. You do your grocery store and you do all the errands, but a lot of my time is taken up by my kids, and I love it. It's just I don't have a lot of time for anything else right now when they're young. So it'd be nice to have like-minded artists to talk to. It'd be kind of fun. And even your paintings, if you wanted to share. I don't know if you can do that on YouTube. I'd have to look. I don't know if they let you do that in the comment section, but I can always check out your profile if you have your art on your channel. That would be cool to see that. Let's see, what is this color? This is, Payne's gray. Let's see here. So we have 3 more colors. My girls are getting a little antsy. They are wanting to come in. I don't blame them because it's really cold outside. It is winter here. I'm here in Redding, California. And it gets very hot in here. It gets very hot in Redding, but it gets cold too. So we snow, and ooh, this is pretty. I love this Payne's gray. And Northern California is beautiful. Let's see if I can get this. Oh, that's pretty. I love that. Payne's gray has that, it's dark color. It's like a really, really dark blue, but it almost looks black. If you use it at its full potential, it looks very close to black, but I love that color. as I'm getting older, it seems like I'm getting more into blues. It's crazy how your color choices they change throughout life. When I was young, really young, as far as I remember, my mom said my favorite color is red, and everything was red. I loved everything red. And then it started, I got a little bit older, and she said that it went to purple and red. So I never lost the red. It was I just added to it. And then a little bit later in life, I think probably in my mid-20s, I think, then I started adding teal. I really loved teal, probably because my job was stressful, and I think the color teal just made me feel relaxed just looking at it. So yeah, I think that's where teal came from. And then now I'm starting to get into that really pretty starry sky. And also here's the teal, like the turquoise is very pretty. But I'm really starting to like that starry sky of the, what is that called? Prussian? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Definitely give me a comment below if I'm saying it wrong. And also tell me your favorite colors. What colors do you guys really like? What's your favorites? Okay, our last one here is, this one's lamp black, and this one's ivory black. So we're gonna end it with ivory black, and it turned out pretty good. The card turned out really well. Hopefully my video turned out all right. Like I said, this is my first YouTube video and of painting. I think I did a video on something else, but it wasn't talking about painting, and I didn't do very many, but yeah, so we'll see how this all turns out with having my business and potentially doing tutorials and showing my artwork on it. Yeah, that's a pretty one. It's kind of a brownish black. And that is the ivory black. Yeah, it's pretty, but it's, there you go. This one I think I need to bring down a bit. I don't see that light. We need the lightest value right there. So kind of wash that out a bit. See if I can get it. There you go. I think you can see that lightest value. With all of them, you have, or at least for me, I have to see the lightest. Looks like that brown. What is this? This is burnt umber. I might have to go back over that one. Let's see if I can fix that. See how there's that clear water line? I don't like that. So let's see if we can go back in there and fix it now that it's dry. Nice and dark up top. Bring it about a third down. And slowly bring it down. Let's see if I can wash this out here. Kind of moving around a bit, kind of back and forth, and try to, let's see if we can get that. I think that might be fixed. We'll see. Again, we could always go back over it. Well, thank you for being a part of my channel and watching. Hopefully you've watched to the end. If you could like, thumbs up, and share this video, that would be amazing. I would really appreciate it. And hopefully I see some comments on the channel, and I can comment back. I don't know how quickly I can, because my life's crazy with kids, but I will love to do that. And I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Thank you.